Yo, what's going on, guys? It's me, Justice1 or J1, whatever you want to call me, as long as you know me. And today we're going to be talking about whenever I got my first car and basically how I eventually got so comfortable to the point where I started drifting and doing all this crazy stuff with it. Now, we're going to have to take this back a little bit, and this all started way back in the late 2021. Whenever I turned 16, and it was the next day after I got my permit, and I went down to my local DMV, took the test. Obviously, I passed. First try, actually. Some people can and cannot do that. Some people study, some people didn't. So that really depends. I think I got a perfect score, 18 out of 18. So that was really nice. But anyways, I think that day I went out and went driving in my mom's car at the time, which was a Mustang 2005. Man, oh man, if you guys didn't know, I'm actually a huge car enthusiast myself. I love cars and everything about them. And my mom had my favorite car at the time. And this car we modded a lot. And who I mean by we, I mean my pop pop. This guy was a huge car enthusiast as well. And he still is to this day. And he actually brought me lots of motivation. And that's how he became such a huge car person. And I remember the day that I got my permit and all this, and I drove for the first time. It was a automatic Mustang. It was a V6, 3.6 liter, I believe. I forget what the '05 series had. For those of you car enthusiasts out there, but to those of you who are looking for the drifting and the crazy shit, I'll let you know on it in a little bit here. I don't want to bore you guys too much, so I'm not going to be naming all of my modifications, but the one big thing is just new wheels and rims, whatever you want to call them, and the louvers. Those are just the really two big things that a lot of people would know. So just thought I'd give you a little general thing. Actually, it looks just like the Dominator from GTA 5. So if you guys know what the Dominator looks like in GTA 5, that's pretty much exactly what my car looks like. Just black and just really good looking. And pretty much I learned how to do a lot of things in the car, and just general driving, turn signals, uh, red lights, green lights. I mean, on my first time, I'm not gonna say it like I was, like I knew what I was doing all the time. I really didn't. I really came a long way, but I remember I would literally sometimes not go when I was supposed to. I used to cut people off on our interstate one time. It was really bad, but everyone's got to start somewhere. If it makes you guys feel better and you're really scared, don't be. You just got to experiment, really. I remember when I got these new rims for the Mustang at the time, and it was my second time driving, and I literally scraped my rims, and because I literally zoned out on a red light that turned green. I turned right, and I don't know what I did. I just zoned out or something, and then I scratched my rims. I learned from that. So, anyways, without all of this, keeping all this stuff in mind, um, I got my license when it came time. I actually almost failed on the parallel parking section. That was pretty bad, but I was down to my last try, and I actually nailed it. So that worked out. And from there, when I got my license, I started driving all the time. At the time, I would drive to school, and I was like at the time, I was actually a sophomore. Obviously, as you guys know, I'm 16. Now, recording this video, I'm 17. But whenever I was in sophomore year, I just remember all the seniors would make fun of me for no reason, saying, "Oh, why don't you have your license yet? Why don't you drive to Vodtech yet? Why don't you drive to the school?" They would lay out all this stuff on me, and I'm a sophomore, and I used to get like really jealous slash pissed because it's like I wasn't driving yet when literally my whole grade couldn't even drive yet. I was lucky to be born at a different year. I was actually one of the older kids in my high school, pretty much, and in my grade specifically. And so, I mean, I got lucky with that. But anyways, once I got my license and all this, and I started learning how to do all the stuff that I needed to know, and I mean, really, it was a lot to learn. Actually, thinking back to it, I remember that I would only focus on like the turn signals and all that stuff. I couldn't focus single handedly on. I couldn't focus on driving myself and like paying attention, if that makes any sense. So like it was very confusing. If you know what I'm talking about, let me know in the comments down below. But I couldn't focus on everything at once like I can now, because some of the things that you do in a car is subconscious, and some of it is like you have to be conscious about it. And I used to basically subconscious drive, and that was awful. That's the best way I can really describe it, to be honest with you. But once all this stuff like is put into place and I now know how to properly drive, it starts off with me meeting a few seniors. Some of them I already know, some of them I don't know, that I eventually met and got to know really well with. Pretty much, we would literally all get together, okay? It would be separate times. So, for example, me and, let's call him Derek. Me and Derek would actually meet up after school sometimes, and we would hang out. And it's actually really funny. Derek, him and I, we never could relate in school, but when we were outside of school, like, we would talk all the time. And he was a huge car guy. He's always been since middle school. I known him since I was in 5th grade and he was in 7th grade. So, we were pretty close. And I would take him over, and I got my license then. So it's like, hey, you want me to pick you up? And he's like, yeah, sure, let's do it. And I was like, what do you want to do? And he was like, I don't know. And I was like, wait a minute, I just thought of a great idea. I want to try to drift in my car. And he's like, yo, drift in your car? Okay, bet. So I go ahead, I pick this man up, and we head down to a local park nearby. And there's actually a section on the right side of the park, like where the main road is to the park, and there's the main road that goes to the left, and then there's a big park, and then on the right is this little secluded spot that it's by like baseball fields and soccer fields, etc. And we go down there into that secluded spot, and at the time it was actually perfect warm weather. This was in the summer of 22, because I got my license in Marchish, and pretty much what happened was I go ahead and start drifting. It was pretty poor because I didn't know what I was doing at the time, and this was before I modded my Mustang. And I know I was skipping a lot of events here, but the car that I was driving was a Mustang 2000. A lot of you guys, if you're a car enthusiast, know this car is perfect for drag strips. This car is perfect for, honestly, a lot of things, like even drifting. It's really known as a drifting car. Mustangs do a lot of drifts, etc. And to all those people in the comments who talk about crowd killers, no offense, but fuck off. You know why I'd be pissed. So, anyways, from there, I actually get to drifting, and this was actually the time whenever it was very warm weather. So I actually, it's a Mustang 2000 convertible. So I actually put the top down, and we would drift with the top down, and it was so much fun. I mean, really, I did this a lot. I eventually made this a frequent thing, and another friend of mine, we'll call him, we'll call him Charles, and me and Charles, I don't know what kind of name that is, but me and Charles would literally hang out a bunch of times, and he's my closest friend, second closest friend that I've ever known, and he would come over to my house, and we spent about 3 nights. We would do a bunch of things, like make music together. We would play video games and just talk about like general life, etc. And just hang out and have a blast. And one of the big things we wanted to do was, since we were so bored, was go out and drift. And I was like, all right, bet. So he actually smokes a bit, and he was like, yo, hear me out. What if we did a smoke and drift? And I'm like, yo, smoke and drift? Okay, bet, let's do it. So we go ahead on over. I think before we even went to smoke and drift, I think we went to like Starbucks, or local Starbucks or whatever, got something to eat, and then we went down. We either did that before or after, but I think we did it before, because when we went down there, I go down to the secluded spot again, and I So I had the factory everything for this car at the time. So there was a cassette player and there was a CD player. I slap in that Lamb of God Ashes of the Wake album. Shout out to Lamb of God, by the way. I mean, that's an amazing band. For those of you guys who are my metalheads in the comments down below, let me know if that's a good album or not, because that shit is fire. I slap in the disc, and that is the one thing that you want to do when it comes to drifting, is you want to find some crazy ass thing. Like whenever it's like rap, and you want to put in drill rap, or you want to do like Lamb of God, some heavy metal shit you want to drift to, get that, and I'm telling you, you're gonna have a fun time. And I slap that in. It goes to the breakdowns. It goes to the super fast parts, the intense parts, the screaming, and we're just drifting. And I get better by day. So I'm drifting around, and he's smoking, he's taking hits and shit, and you know, it was just overall super fun. I had to pull the windows down because I wasn't trying to get fucking contact high. I'm good. Like, whenever I'm driving, I'm actually responsible. Just so you guys know. So you know, I am not encouraging you guys to ever drink or smoke in a car, okay? Just, like, period. That's that. And if you ever do, first of all, never drink. But if you ever smoke in the car, like if it's like weed or something like that, just make sure you have the windows down, like, and try not to get the driver in contact if they don't want to, because they really shouldn't be, unless they know what they're doing, but even still, they shouldn't be doing that. Just thought I'd get that out of, you know, the way, because, you know, just thought I'd let you guys know. And so, honestly, I just thought it was really cool just to kind of talk about that, basically drifts and stuff like that. Actually, there is a really another good time where I had another friend of mine, we'll call him Luke. Me and Luke, we actually went up to the mountains, and this was crazy. When we went up to the mountains, it's only about like an hour, 30 minutes, maybe 20, I'm going to say 20 minutes away, max. 20, 30 minutes, depending on where you want to go. And we go up there, and it was really cool. He actually took me up to the top of the mountain, and both of us have Mustangs. He has a Mustang 1998. I have a Mustang 2000. And both of us go up to the mountains. We're at the top, and we actually brought Derek with. And it was actually really funny. Derek actually is like a photographer slash kind of videographer. He doesn't really do videography that much, but anything car related he'll pretty much do. And we get up there, and he wanted to drift and I wanted to drift, and all right, we're all agreeing. We're like, all right, bet, let's drift, let's run it back, we'll do some donuts at the very top of the mountain, because that shit sounds fire. First of all, I was scared like shit. All right, so before we got up to this mountain here, going up the roads single-handedly, it was notorious. This is a place in Pennsylvania where it's notorious to have really bumpy roads and have a tire easily get popped at any given time. So I'm already scared because whenever I was going down the road, I literally smacked something. It might have been a part of a rock or something, and I'm surprised it did not damage the undercarriage of my car, because the second that happened, I pulled over. I opened the door and shit. I'm like, yo, hold on, wait a minute. I look under my car to see if there was anything, because it felt like my whole entire exhaust in like both intakes, axle and catback, and like my cold air intake just fell out of my fucking car. Like everything just, like the whole engine just plopped out of my car. Like that's what it felt like, and apparently nothing happened. So I was fine. I just got paranoid. So I go ahead and drive my car back up to the top again, and we start drifting around. And so Derek, he steps out the car. He's like, hold up, I want to get a video of this. And we're like, yo, you should take a video anyway. So we're like, all right, bet. And he gets his phone out, and he's like, all right, guys, listen, only rule is don't kill me, all right? You're going to do 3 loops around, and then just stop from there, and then just, I don't know, go out of frame or some cool shit. And we're like, all right, bet. So, you know, we start drifting around, both of us. You know, we get our first loop in. It was nice. It was beautiful. We're getting the second loop in, about to hit to the third, and then all of a sudden, I hear this loud, like, noise. It was so weird to say, but, like, I looked over, and I'm like, what the fuck happened? I open my door, and I look, and I see my friend Luke crash his 1998 Mustang into a fucking log. It actually went into the fender liner and broke it a little bit and got the wheel stuck. And it took us, I shit you not, an hour to 2 hours to just literally fix this car that was stuck on a log. And we tried slamming it in neutral, we tried doing all this stuff, and it wouldn't work until I had to literally, till he actually found a pillow randomly. I don't know why he has a pillow in the back of his trunk, but shit happens, right? And so he picks it up, puts it between the car, and sandwiches it. And I just drive forward using the force of my car, and pretty much it got it out. But pretty much, we were scared we had to call a tow truck company just to get us out there and, like, out of there and pretty much, like, be safe and all that. And that was going to take forever. We were not feeling that whatsoever. So we said, fuck it. Got everything out, and pretty much dipped from that shit. We said, fuck that. We went home. I think we cleaned the cars that day too. And pretty much, yeah. That's what happened. I know it's very scattered and a lot of details were missed, but I'm a little rusty on the commentaries because it's been a while. So anyways, guys, I hope you really enjoyed this commentary. It's been a minute. I thought I'd give you guys something. By the way, by the time this is posted, Christmas is like 10 days away. So, like, if I don't make another post anytime soon, Merry Christmas. You guys deserve it. And I hope you guys have an amazing day and amazing Christmas break as well. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.